We are live.
All right, how's everybody doing today?
Morning.
Woo!
Yeah.
Oh man, I haven't opened up before, so I'm a little nervous, but I'm really excited. It's always great to see everybody here today. And I just want to give my own personal experience with 1 Million Cups. This is a networking event that I've never seen before. Most times people come to networking events and it's about pitching your business, selling yourself, but here you could actually be vulnerable, explain the things that you're struggling with, and have a community that picks you up, supports you, and shows you ways to actually grow with success and, you know, just be who you are and support your own business and be an entrepreneur. So thank you guys for all being here today. This is rock and roll. All right, so we have the mission statement. So almost kind of what I went over just now. Here at 1 Million Cups, we bring presenters to explain for for-profit companies to expand, grow, and just not be nervous about taking this plunge. You know, we all have these idealisms of how it is to become successful, which most times it's go to college, get a job, and that's 100% okay. But every now and then we have a dream, we have a vision of things that we want to grow and expand on. That's what 1 Million Cups is here for people to stand up and actually be confident in what they want to do with their lives, whether it's make a change, whether it's grow their own business, or whether it's just meeting people that are like-minded and want to be on the path of success. It's really amazing. So we are right here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We are one of the main 1 Million Cups in Albuquerque. I don't know if we're the best, but I like to say we're number one out of everybody because this place is awesome and the community that we created is really amazing here. So for all those other 1 Million Cups people out there out in different states, take some notes. So the key pillars: presentations, not pitches. So we're not pitching, we're not selling, we're actually giving a presentation about the company that we want to grow and the idea that we want to build. So we're not trying to sell people. We're not trying to come up here and be like, oh, buy my product. It's about, it's coming up here and saying, hey, this is the idea that I have. This is the idea that I want to grow. This is what I'm struggling with. How can I make this work? There's never been a network meeting that I've been to that does it this way. So to even call this a networking event is really interesting because you can't really define what 1 Million Cups is. 1 Million Cups is something that's special, it's different, and it's building a community. That's why we see new people come in every single week after week, and we bring in presentations that are just mind-blowing to me, whether it's about technology, whether it's about something that I do, documentary filmmaking company, or we just had somebody come, we had a lady that does kombucha that comes up here. It's all types of businesses. It's really, really amazing. So whatever you do, check out 1 Million Cups. All right, the mission. What can our community do to help you? It's the question we always ask, and it's always why we're here today. So that's one of the most important things is that at the end of the presentation, we ask, what could this community do for you, or what can it do for everybody? It's building relationships. And that's the biggest thing when it comes to building a business is building relationships between people. You can't be in this by yourself. I personally have a business partner. His name is Oscar. I'm in the film industry, so I already got my Oscar, you know what I'm saying? So, so it's absolutely amazing. And yeah, so it's just about engaging and bringing each other up. And this is the coolest part. And this is what really, I would say, impacted my life and my company in a way that's almost unfathomable to me. You could actually apply to present here. This event is 100% free, and it's 100% free to apply and actually present your business. I know how scary it is to stand up here. My legs are literally shaking like I'm trembling up here. But being able to stand up and articulate with passion and emotion, anybody is able to come up here and do this, and it doesn't cost you a dime. So no matter how scared you are, because right now I'm literally shaking. If I'm able to do this, anybody can do this up here as well. So if you guys are brand new to here, or if you guys haven't presented yet and you have that little, angel and demon on your shoulder, the angel saying, go do it. And the demon's like, nah, you can't handle this. I promise you guys, you can handle this. And we'll pick you up if you can't. All right, so these are the organizers. So we have Paul Sauter here. Paul Sauter is freaking awesome. Cool story about Paul Sauter. One time he brought me into the Angels quarterly event, and he just brought me in as a guest. I didn't have to pay anything, and it was a life-changing experience going over there. This is the type of people that we have here. We have Lisa Adkins. She's the queen of 1 Million Cups down here in Albuquerque. So if you guys don't know Lisa, everybody give her a hug at the end, because without her, this wouldn't be what it is. Eric, is Eric here today?
Eric's
My
here.
man right here. Eric is awesome. He's one of the best trainers that we have that goes on, helps people with their presentations and just building a community within the 1 Million Cups format. Adam, that's my man over there. This guy has some of the best energy, and he's always making sure people that are brand new feel comfortable. And he's also one of the a great teacher for the presentations. We have Sonia. Sonia, I think, is online today.
Yeah.
So Sonia, you need to talk to Sonia. She works in the space of writing, articulating, and actually making short stories. She is absolutely amazing, and she's a total powerhouse. And then there's these two guys right here. They're pretty okay compared to these other people. You know, that's me right there. But I have to give a big shout out to my buddy right here. His name is Oscar. He owns half my company. And without him, I wouldn't be able to be doing what I'm doing. So if you guys haven't found yourself an Oscar yet, there's multiple Oscars inside of here. I promise you that. And then our sponsors, obviously, it's going to be Fat Pack right here, Foundation for Sustainable Living. Jason Collin Photography, always doing some of the most amazing photography on the Facebook website and pretty much any type of stuff that you see to promote us. Noventum Custom Software and Development, Minuteman Press, and Invine Solutions. So these guys are actually really helping us not only rebrand ourselves, but just pick up the whole. Oh my gosh, I skipped over than organized. Throw the mic down, drop the mic in a bad way. And more than organized, I'm so sorry. So we have all our sponsors, or most of our sponsors here today. We want to give them all a hand of, let's give everybody a hand. I do want to thank everybody for joining today. I know it's going to be a rocking presentation, and I know every now and then we have some voices in the background, so if we could try to keep the conversations in the background low, because like I said, it is really nerve-wracking standing up here, and sometimes having those voices in the background can be a bit jarring. So let's try to stay as engaged as possible for our presenter today. Yeah.
Speaking of which,
Oh, there we go.
all right.
Well, I'm very excited to be back. There's a storm. This is good. I'm not going to try and do anything with this, but I'm glad to be back here. My name is Eric Whitmore. As he mentioned, I'm one of the folks who helps organize this, although I'm doing very little about that these days. However, I'm particularly excited, first of all, to be back in the room with you all, but also when I saw John Bell's name come up as a presenter, as a potential presenter, several of us, I guess, in the audience, how many folks have come across John Bell in like previous things? So well, okay. I was expecting a little bit more, because one of the things that I love about John is when he came to town X number of years ago, this is one of the places that he came and started, making a regular place for him to visit, to connect with our entrepreneurial community. And I know he's since done some great stuff with CNM and elsewhere. But when I saw that he was part of a company and growing a company that is primarily based abroad, we'll hear much more about this. Primarily based abroad, seeing that just kind of, it got me excited. It's like, well, what the heck is he doing with this company, and how is he bringing it to the States? How is he bringing it to New Mexico? So I'm just really excited to hear his story. I'm always glad to be in a room where John's speaking, because he's a really good speaker. So without any further ado, I want to hand this off to Mr. John Bell.
Thank you, Eric, and thanks to Lisa and the entire 1 Million Cups team here. It is a great forum. It is one of the first places I visited when I came to town. And what I want to talk to you all about today is about a new startup called Kitty Cat, which is essentially making millions of visuals that sell billions of dollars worth of e-commerce goods overall. So I think we may need to click on the screen. Thank you. There you go. So essentially, I'm John Bell. Now, For Kitty Cat, I am an advisor. I am an investor, also running strategy and the U.S. expansion for this business that starts in Singapore. We'll talk about that in a minute. I am also president of Next Now Digital, based here in Albuquerque, which helps brands grow their business through Next Digital practices, and it builds on about 25 years or more of experience doing that for a lot of for global brands you all know. Here in the community, I serve on the board of Presbyterian Health Plans and also Explora, which is just a reflection of my commitment to the community here and my kind of bullish attitude about growing business here in Albuquerque, and that'll become relevant in a moment. The founders of Kitty Cat are Des Sheehy and Kathy Sheehy, who I've known for over 25 years. Kathy and I worked together at Ogilvy many years ago. She's a creative director, serial CEO. Des, her husband, is an investment banker, not only working with startups like ours, but also helping fund development projects in the developing world in Southeast Asia and Africa. They're great folks, and I've known them forever. But Kitty Cat is very straightforward. It's about more sales through better visuals. So what we deliver is beautiful, on-brand, high-performing visuals across all social media channels, across all e-commerce marketing platforms, think Amazon, all storefronts, think Shopify. Essentially what we want to do is to become the content partner for e-commerce brands out there to help them grow their business by providing all of the visuals they need across all of those platforms to fuel growth. And so visuals like stop motion animations that bring new beverages to life for people, or just beautiful photography overall that actually is thumb stopping and gets people to click on it within their social feed or to add it to their cart. Whether you're demonstrating a new coffee machine or trying to bring a cosmetic brand to life, or just that beautiful photography that grabs your attention, that's what we're all about. And that's what we're providing for all of our clients out there in the marketplace. Our process is, as you would guess, very streamlined and online. So everything from preparing for a shoot by creating the Kitty Cat style box, which is essentially what we need to shoot, the styles we need to capture, quite frankly, also an assessment of the competitive landscape. So we need to know what the guardrails are and where we need to kind of differentiate ourselves. Going into the capture of the video, the animations, building the animations, and the photos themselves. And then on to something really interesting where we multiply those images by using assisted artificial intelligence. Those of you who are in this space know that prompt engineering, which is a very fancy word for asking the right questions from AI engines to get the best results, is really an art and a science. And we've applied that to generating new visuals, taking one image and making many. And I'll mention a little bit more about that in a second, all to deliver this onto the Kitty Cat platform, an online platform for our clients where they can grab assets at any time they want. And that platform grows in value over time because not only are the assets always available, not only can they make those pictures, those videos, and those animations available to their entire internal teams for great collaboration, but we're adding images, summer promotion images generated in artificial intelligence overall. They don't need to continuously reshoot to get new images. If I were to try to summarize quickly what our difference is, it's creative by creatives. So professional videographers, animators, photographers, and now content creators. We have a collection, a network of content creators in Singapore and in the Philippines right now producing content for brands. That's new. The AI-enabled post-production, I'll mention more about that in a second. Data-driven insights. We pay a lot of attention to what people click on, what images grab people's attention, what videos cause them to click on them in their social feed or to add a product to cart inside the store. And we use those insights to help inform the next shoot and the next post-production episode. And I've already talked about the effortless client platform. So everything from giving us the brief ever so simply to supervising from afar. I can supervise shoots and have in Singapore and in Australia, all the way to taking delivery of the assets, buying the assets, and we'll talk a little bit about the business model here. And then again, making those assets available to your entire team. So one place to store all of those image assets. So all of these images were created in artificial intelligence, generative AI, starting with a single visual. So using that single visual from a shoot, using our assisted artificial intelligence, A2I process, which those of you are familiar about using the right prompts to generate those images, we can now create dozens of different settings, dozens of different backgrounds. We're now applying that to stop motion. Again, those who are involved in this know that it's one thing to do it to a still image. It's another thing to do it to moving images or many images overall. It really reduces the need to constantly reshoot things for summer promotions or any kind of special promotion that you may have coming up. We're not trying to put the shoot out of business. Quite frankly, we're trying to just make the shoot smarter and produce greater value for the clients. Our customer focus really in three areas: e-commerce enablers, aggregators. These are companies like Perch. Perch owns like 12 e-commerce brands out there, Space Savers and other brands. Bigger brands, in-house marketing teams. Shopback is a marketplace in Singapore that has many brands that they do service work for. And we're now producing visuals for a growing number of those. And then of course, the small business single brand startup. Obedient, as the name suggests, is an oat milk startup out of Singapore. And we also serve those. I want to be clear because you always ask hard, good questions. The focus is on the left too, right? For obvious reasons. Bigger business, they understand marketing. They know their need to drive efficiency in this space, but we also love startups. Milestones achieved. We have a going business, going concern in Singapore right now. I'm not going to give you revenue numbers, but I will tell you we've got more than 100 brands have been onboarded. We've done over 130 proof of concepts, including quite a few in the AI delivery that I've talked about already. We've got more than 14,000 assets, videos, animations, images for clients up online on the platform. We just released, okay, we didn't really release it. We just finished building the second generation of the platform itself, which is where all the assets are housed and all the transactions are managed. So we're making progress there. Our model is to have a studio serving Southeast Asia, which we have in Singapore. And now we need a studio here in the US to serve e-commerce companies with product here in the US. Singapore is great. And even for e-commerce companies across the world that manufacture in China, it's great because product comes direct to Singapore. But nobody's going to be sending their product overseas from the US, Canada, North America in general. We need to create the studio here. So this is my ask, getting down to the crux of the matter. My ask to you all to make Albuquerque the US studio hub. I told you I was very bullish about business here. There's things that could be done here that would normally go somewhere else. I don't think that's necessary. I hope, and I'll be clear about why I hope that's not necessary. We need to work with entrepreneurial videographers, photographers, animators, to be fair, one entity who has the capacity to do all of those things and see where this business goes. It's not as simple as finding the right studio to do a day rate and until this accumulates business. We need someone to work with us, starting with 1 or 2 kitty cat days a month, where we aggregate all the products that need to be shot. Yes, of course, it's driving down the cost of that, but not below the point of quality. There are some competitors out there in the marketplace that have specialized in creating a factory environment, pushing that efficiency to the extreme, I would argue at the expense of quality, and that's not what we plan to do. But we need an entrepreneurial mindset. Who is that in ABQ? That's my first ask. The second ask is we actually want to invite 5 e-commerce brands or e-commerce businesses to work with us. We'll eliminate the fee for the shoot, and we'll deliver 5 still images free of charge overall. So something we've done very successfully to get the business going in Southeast Asia. We want to make it possible here. We do favor the e-commerce aggregators, those people with many brands, but we're open-minded. So what's the best way to identify influential brands, not necessarily just in Albuquerque or New Mexico, the Southwest, because our business wants to serve beyond that, but beyond that in the US. So those are my 2 asks. Now I want to pause and see if there's any questions overall or great ideas
First of all,
about
thank
this.
you.
John, I wanted you to present because I wanted to learn more about Kitty Cat. I think it's fascinating. But one of the 1 Million Cups presentation pillars is to know more about the journey of the entrepreneur. So I want to know a couple things. What brought you to New Mexico? How did you hook up and decide? I know the founders are friends of yours, but how did you hook up and decide to invest in Kitty Cat? And then I want to thank you for trying to make this happen in New Mexico, because I know a lot of us are frustrated, especially in the biotech field, to keep things moving along in New Mexico. So.
Sure. So let me answer the bit about why Kitty Cat. Ryan, I've already told you, I know Kathy and Des have known them for years. We've been working on MarTech startup ideas for the past 5 years together. We jointly found this space. Visuals are not going away. So we found that this was an area where we could create a new marketing tech-enabled service that for which there was inevitably going to be growing demand and make it work. So a Kitty Cat is an idea whose time has come, I think. We'll see. There are some competitors out there in the marketplace, which is always good. Others have proven that there's some interest in this space and some kind of velocity behind it. Why did I come to New Mexico? I've been coming to New Mexico for 33 years. I came here for the first time actually during when I was first married. And we came, we visited, we did what a lot of people do. We landed in the Sunport and drove north to Taos. Anyhow, fell in love. And then about 5 or 6 years ago, started spending more and more time in Albuquerque. And those of you who've ever moved here from somewhere else, you often come up with a choice of Albuquerque or Santa Fe. Anyhow, we fell in love with Albuquerque, scrappiness, warts and all. It's a great particular place, and I love it. So hopefully I answered your major questions.
Start here and then we'll switch between online and in person. So Marlene.
Hi, John. So it's really interesting hearing about this company. I don't quite understand how it works. That's just me. So I know you have these visuals. So if I want to come to you and you help me, how does that work? Do I pay you a flat fee? Does it matter how big I am? Does I didn't understand how it works.
Okay, that's a fair question. Generally, our clients are e-commerce businesses, so businesses that are selling online. And what we do is we produce all of the visuals they need to promote their products on social media and in advertising and in offline venues as well, plus the visuals and the videos they need to put on Amazon.com or on their own e-commerce storefront, which may be hosted on Shopify, or that doesn't really matter. So we create all of the visuals that a business who sells a product or service, for that matter, needs to sell their particular business. We generally favor bigger, mid-size e-commerce enablers, the aggregators that I talked about, people who have many brands overall. Do we work with individual small startups who have a product and a storefront? Yes, we do. I think those of you who understand the space know that the effort to do that is a little bit different than trying to do it for someone who's got many products to sell. Does that make sense and answer your
But do you
question?
have like a flat fee or do you?
Oh, I'm sorry,
scale that?
pricing, great question. Yep, pricing needs to change, we need to drive it down. We do have a flat fee, you can, do a shoot. Half-day shoot, I think, is now priced out in Singapore at $299 for the half-day shoot, for which you get one image, and then each of the images are per piece purchase, and they'll run anywhere from $49 an image to, I don't know, more complex video that'll be $350 with a model and someone demonstrating the product overall. And so there's quite a range in there. We are working on package pricing as well. Some of our competitors do that, get so many images for this cost. To be fair, we're going to do some pricing testing to see whether the individuals or the packages work better. But what we're trying to do is drive down that initial cost that brands have to invest in for that particular shoot without sacrificing quality.
Sue Perlosny, you're next.
Morning, John. Curious question. How did you land on, or how did they land on the name Kitty Cat?
There's always a great story behind a name. Kitty is Kathy's daughter. And anyhow, they fell in love with it. I loved it too. I thought it was cute and memorable and easy to say. So I've got no issues with it. And Kitty, the person, is an amazing 12-year-old girl.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Kenneth Knoll with Invest New Mexico. Since you're developing a product that's creating multiple products, you're going to have multiple IPs. Who owns the intellectual property of these that you're creating?
Great question. Well, the biggest answer that y'all probably want to know is, well, first of all, we have a process which can be protected. We have a digital platform, which is the Kitty Cat platform where you do all your briefing all the way through to delivery of the images, and that'll be protected. We are not doing and building our own AI from scratch, generative AI platform. It's probably obvious, those of you who are in that space, that's prohibitive overall. What we're doing right now is we're leveraging all of those out there. So that is arguably, I would guess, unless someone else is a better expert than I, a protected from a it's hard to do status, not from a we own it status. Hopefully that answers your question.
Or did he mean the end product?
The end product, the actual images, videos, and animations belong to the brands and the clients who hire us. Those of you in the photo space know that there's a model that still continues to this day where a photographer, let's just say, will retain the right for the original overall. Right or wrong, I'm not sure that model works well within this particular space. It's a client product. I have no way to leverage it. And in fact, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get clients to I'll be careful with my words here. So I don't mean subscribe in the traditional mechanical sense, but I want them to become and retain them as a client because we're generating new and valuable materials, not because I own their negatives and they can't do anything without it.
Fantastic. Morning, John. I'm Miriam Ortiz-Aquino with More Than Organized. And I have a couple questions. One, I really want to know about the iHope and see if it's the same thing, iHope for Albuquerque. But also, are there any aggregators in New Mexico? Like I feel like there's a few, but not hundreds of brands under them, maybe a dozen. So that might be an issue. Are they connected?
They are connected. To be fair, and part of why I'm coming to you and asking is I don't actually know of any e-commerce aggregators here in the New Mexico marketplace. There may very well be. They tend to be in larger markets overall, Chicago, New York, the West Coast, and it is connected to the iHope. I hope that this studio concept can work here in Albuquerque. It does require an entrepreneurial partner And I've talked to a couple of folks here, professional studios, photographers, if you will, and it's clear that these guys and gals have fought hard to, establish their day rate and their business. Again, I've talked to a couple people. I am not making a general statement about the category overall. These folks are not, they are risk averse.
Yes.
Let's just say, and the whole idea of trying and growing with a startup is not easy. And it may be a lesson that is the case that we need to go to plan B and C, which is fine. And, could it be done? Would it be easier to find that partner in New York, San Francisco, Los Angeles, because of the breadth and depth of people in that business out there? Yeah, it would be. I still want to make it happen here.
I do think your idea of consolidating and booking them for a couple days a month would allow them to step into it as it grows versus giving up all their control over their day rate.
Yeah, part of the entryway into this is unused capacity.
Yeah.
And some people respect that and want to work with that. Others are like, you're just trying to chip down my day rate, which I respect that as well. Online or in here?
Hey, John, nice to meet you in person. I don't know if you remember me, but guys, I met John first on a webinar online and I reached out to him and he gave me an hour of his time to talk about some marketing stuff. Really, really great guy, super kind. I appreciate you so very much. Everybody else had really great questions, pretty much took up everything that I had thought of on my way up here. So I'd like to ask you, what would be one core belief around growth and development as like an entrepreneur or for self?
That is a great question and a broad one. I think more of a tip for me, at least, that's helped me a lot is it's about testing and learning. I have a bias for action, which has worked well for me in the past, except in my last gig, where I pushed forward to do things in a very risk-averse environment, and that was not appreciated. But I believe testing and learning and going into it with the resilience, or hoping you have the resilience to keep at it, is pretty important. Thank you.
We have a long line of questions. We're going to take one more from the audience. Come on up. And then Eric's going to do the final two. Please stay and communicate after. We have a second presenter today, so we need to keep moving.
Hi, everybody. My name is Isaiah. My first time here. Love to talk with everybody afterwards. I'm a tech guy. I've been building with these generative AI products. And my question is kind of about Kitty Cat's value proposition. I think in the last year, everybody's seen just a huge outpour of these new products, whether it's DALL-E coming from OpenAI, whether it's Stable Diffusion. With your pricing, you threw out $50 an image. If I was Shopify, why would I not think to go directly to Stable Diffusion, go directly to DALL-E and pay more around 50 cents an image and kind of cut out you as the middleman directly? What's the value that extra $50 is bringing that you wouldn't get going directly to the models?
That's a great question. And there's a couple ways to answer it. First of all, we're not just doing a generative AI on existing assets. We're actually creating assets from the very start. So we're working in a studio with professional creators to create beautiful tabletop photography and same ready for generative AI, AKA a icon background, so that it's easy to pop in backgrounds overall. Then we're using our own approach, again, fancy word, I didn't come up with this fancy phrase, prompt engineering, to guide how we use Midjourney and DALL-E and others to create the cosmetic halfway in water or on a field of flowers and so forth and so on. Could you do that? Yes. Good luck. Trust me, learning how to do it well and accumulating the knowledge for how to do it in a timely fashion without asking a bazillion prompts to get there has been part of our journey overall, and it's been a huge learning journey. you can displace any service provider out there, I suppose, by working hard enough and smart enough, but we don't think it's gonna be that easy.
I am so glad he asked that question. I am so glad that I have a chance to help wrap this up. Oh, I get the microphone just for a second or two. So we have last two final questions for you. Yeah, you've heard these before. First of all, red or green, just to make it a softball. Christmas, all right. Are we okay with Christmas?
Yeah.
You are okay with it today? Okay, that's good to hear. And what can we as a community do to help you? Any just like the call to action, anything we want to, concentrate on?
I think the biggest thing is here. It's really about helping me find, if they exist, the right partner who wants to try to grow this business against the tide, if you will, here in Albuquerque. So I am really committed to the idea of trying it here before this slips away into a bigger market. So if you've got ideas, plans, working with a digital media team at CNM, or working with a right-minded entrepreneur you all know, I'm all ears.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks again. I will, let's see. Am I handing it to you, Lisa? I can do a little bit of this. I think I see the information up here. That's perfect. Yeah, so one of the things we like to do, as I think you know, is when we have a chance, we like to have like a community presenter. So sometimes we have two and we go for the full length and it's really jam-packed and we've got to move really super fast. And I'll try and move a little bit faster to just say, hey, Marlene has been joining us for several years, it feels like. And we're really glad that she's working with CNM in one of her areas of super expertise, which is in the renewable energy space. So come on up and let's hear a little bit more about trades at CNM. And I will hand it up to you.
Thank you.
Your remote is right there.
Hi.
Hi, Marlene.
Hi, thanks for letting me present. So my name is Marlene Brown, and I am full-time faculty at CNM teaching photovoltaics or solar electricity. And I am actually a new teacher. I'm a retired Sandian. I'm an engineer by trade. And now I'm working in the trades at CNM. So photovoltaics is part of the trades at CNM. And I just have a couple slides, but if you're interested, please look more into it. We have unbelievable amount of opportunity here in New Mexico and all over the world doing renewables. So I've been working with photovoltaics or solar electricity for about 30 years. So I have a lot of expertise there and it's really fun for me. And there's huge, like I said, huge opportunities. At the end of each semester, I invite employers to come talk to my students if they have opportunities, and there's plenty of it. And we just passed community solar legislation, and those requests for proposals turned into actual proposals, and there's a lot of work out there. So if you're interested, please come and take a class. So how does it work? I teach a photovoltaic program in one semester. So in one semester, you can take everything. You can take it as a standalone program. You get a certificate of achievement in photovoltaics if you take it all by itself. It's under the trades with electrical trades, HVAC, all that stuff. But if you do it as an elective with the electrical trades has 3 semesters. And if you take it as an additional semester for the electrical trades, then you can get an associate's in the electrical trades with a concentration in photovoltaics. Okay, so there's lots of options. But I wanted to highlight that in one term, you can do it all. So the first half of the semester is 2 classes. There's a fundamental class that I do online and a hands-on lab class that's 3 days a week. And we actually touch and feel all this stuff. And we have mock roofs in the classroom. I'll show you a couple of pictures at the end. The second half of the semester is a code class where we focus on the National Electrical Code. We don't just do the code like they do in the electrical trades, but we focus on the part of the code that deals with photovoltaics. And I do an advanced lab. And there's 2 options for an advanced lab. There's a commercial advanced lab. We do residential for the first part of the semester, and we do more commercial second part. And then there is a new lab that just got set up, and I'll show you a picture in a second. And that is large scale photovoltaics. And that is the future of photovoltaics. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, so this whole thing is just telling you there's a bunch of options. Okay, so which one do I have? Okay. Okay, so this just talks about the classes. And you can look at it online. You can talk to me. I'll show up here. My email's at the beginning. You can always get in touch with Lisa. She'll find me, whatever, okay? And a lot of these folks know me. And you can find me. So this is how it works, okay? And let me just show you a couple classes. A couple pictures.
Maybe using the right
No,
pair.
no. Here we are. So this is my lab. And what we do is we have mock roofs and we set stuff up in the classroom. And then we learn lots about safety and how to do things safely. We look at flat roofs, pitched roofs, whatever. And then we roll stuff outside and we hook it up and we get it powered up. It's very cool because we use different types of mounting structures, different modules, and we learn all about how photovoltaics work. And we really get to touch and feel it. So this is my lab. And then this is the large scale photovoltaics classroom. So on the West Side campus, if you ever drive out to CNM West Side, there's a megawatt, 1,000,000 watts out there. And that is, part of it got isolated. I'll show you one more picture in a second. But this is 1,000,000 watts and that goes into CNM West Side campus. And so part of that got isolated so we can work on it safely. So we're not interacting with 1,000,000 watts. So you don't have to worry about that. And this is what it looks like from the sky. So this is the whole facility. And over here, up here, is where I don't know if this has a little.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but this is where we isolated the array. So we can work on it safely. It's not connected to the rest. And I don't know of any other facility in the entire world that's set up like this. And this is going to be the future of photovoltaics. So it's really exciting. There's lots of opportunities. I have the only certified program in the state. I really want to let people know that this is out there and that there's huge opportunity. And if you are interested or your friends, family, kids are interested, please come talk to me and come help me keep my program going. So thanks. Questions? Anything? Yeah.
What's your class schedule?
So I teach in the fall and the spring, and I teach Monday nights and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday day. And it's only one semester. And it's 4 hours each day for the semester. Yeah.
This is outstanding to learn more about this. So I have two questions. Do you innovate any of the actual cells, the photovoltaic cells, or is this just stuff that you get from other companies that manufacture them?
That's a great question. So we don't actually create the cells. Those are really high tech. So that's like semiconductor physics, and that's done at places like, actually do it at places like MCOR out on the east side, right outside of the base. So that's different. This is really part of the trade. So I teach people how to actually do it and install it. So I'm teaching the future installers. But if you want to do the physics part of it, like Sandy is Sandy is sort of a good place to do that, but also some of the other companies that do semiconductor physics. But thank you. Okay, other questions?
And then I guess the second question is this for people that finish your class to go work for big corporations that do this installation? Or is it also empowering them to start their own businesses? Because I've met a company in Santa Fe and done their logo that's like a small operation that does this kind of solar installation. So do you outfit both outcomes for the students?
Okay, good question. So if you do this as a standalone class, so you get a certificate in photovoltaics for achievement, right? And you can go work for a company. If you take the electrical trades classes, you really, in order to install this, you have to, and do it as a living, you're going to have to do some electrical trades. And if you go through the electrical trades program and work towards your journeyman, then some of those folks actually start their own companies. But you are going to have to go that route if you want to have your own company and be sustainable there. But my class does prepare you to go to work for another company if you don't have any of the other training. But you don't have to come in with anything. Literally, the prerequisites for my classes are reading and writing. If you can read and write, come on in.
And one last short question. So can you explain the importance of this into the future of our planet, like what's going on with the energy and how this is going to impact the future?
Okay, big question. So renewables is here to stay. There's lots of jobs in renewables. I have taught workshops and classes in photovoltaics since the early 90s, right? And so the future is large scale photovoltaics, if we like it or not, but that's happening all over the world. Like the picture I showed you, even at my classroom. A megawatt, that is a huge array. Drive out there and see it. It's 1 million watts. It's tiny these days. 50, 100 megawatts are really common. So they're big projects. Residential photovoltaics is not going away. So people can pick which space they work in. So it's a good question. But renewables is part of our future. It's important that we actually understand it, work with it, embrace it. And this state really has done a lot, and there is huge opportunity here. So I hope that helps.
Annie, you'll be next.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Okay, hi, I'm Franklin, Foundation for Sustainable Living. I know a lot of you know I'm a farmer and grow coffee, but before I started farming, well, along with farming, we started putting PV. Well, first I had something on my RV, and then we put a PV system on my office over here on Lomas next to Starbucks 25 years ago. Marlene and I have known each other a long time through solar energy. We then put a couple of systems on warehouses, still small but big for us, 30 kW and 20 kW, and then powered my home. So, I recommend, you're talking about large scale, but small scale is good to know and good to have, and you can see it and use it every day. The benefits are we got, from a business standpoint, and a return on investment, we got tax credit, and then we get a check from PNM. They wait until it builds up to around $1,000 every couple of months, every 3 months. They send us the more energy you use, the more you get paid. And I was back then and negotiated good contracts. Went to a United Way dinner, and CNM was presenting. So I said, how can the foundation support CNM? Which, three of my kids went to school. CNM, it was TBI. Anyway, so the foundation has funded an endowment for sustainable trades. And I'm guessing your program is relatively new.
it's been around a while.
Okay.
So
Clint Wells was looking for a place to put the money. So we put we establish a fund, it endows, it pays a scholarship every year. And the requirements, they have to write a 200-word essay, and it has to be related to sustainability. So we need to get together.
yeah,
more.
we will. We'll talk more. Oh, and I wanted to say also, CNM has tons of funds out there for folks that can't afford to take classes. There's lots and lots and lots of grants and funds available that people can apply for. So that shouldn't stop folks from taking classes.
Annie online has a question.
Yeah, sorry.
We'll come back to Sun. Annie, go ahead.
Marlene. How are you? Thank you for presenting the photovoltaic. But the young man who had a question on what this all means to sustainability, just to educate people online and present at 1 million cups. We are 350 parts per million. We are past that in the 1980s. So there's a bigger problem here in our global warming and fossil fuel. So there's a bigger impact. And this is just a piece of that. There are 17 sustainable development goals that were defined by United Nations that we need to meet in global warming by 2030, or we are damaging this planet. It's irreversible. That's the impact of that, right? So we look for alternative energy, alternative cleaner gas, all the things that we're doing, or a lot of companies are doing, in the last, I think, 10 years and going forward. We need to move in that direction, or we are going to leave this planet in an apocalyptic state for the future of our children and our grandchildren. So that's the impact, the bigger picture impact. I'm working on creating real estate eco-verde villages. So there's a lot of companies moving towards more sustainable goals and alignment to try and really repair and reverse the global climate warming and fossil fuel damages that we are inflicting on our own planet. We are destroying our own planet. And if we don't do it in 7 years, it's irreversible. It's already irreversible because we already passed the parts per million in the 1980s, and that keeps on increasing by 2 parts per million every single year. And somebody correct me on that data. Marlene, you're probably more in touch with that statistics, but that's just the tip of the iceberg, just to educate folks. Right. So thank you. Not a question, more of a comment and sharing.
Thank you. Good. Thank you very much. So that kind of helps, emphasize what we're talking about.
Santi, we'll take your question as the last question.
Got an opportunity to do 2 quick ones. I'll hit the first one. For your program, maybe it'll help give some of us an insight as to who we could recommend towards your program. Who would be a good candidate for your program?
Anybody who wants to learn about photovoltaics. It can be folks right out of high school. It can be folks that are retired. I have everybody, all sorts of people take my classes. Some just want to learn about it and do something at their own house. Some want to go into it for a business. Some want to have opportunities to do this in other places. There is no, there's no specific stereotype of who would take this class. Anybody who's interested. Please come, it's a great opportunity, and here it is right here in Albuquerque in the state.
And then just final question, I would ask you what's one of your core beliefs around growth and development?
So one of my core beliefs is do something that challenges you every year, right? I'll do something that challenges you. It doesn't matter how big or small it is, but that is how we grow. Is to do something, I don't know, a little bit out of your comfort zone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Marlene. I bet a lot of us have kids who might be interested in learning.
Or you?
Learning. Okay, so I do have an old list of, just open up Google, so go to the one, go to that one. And you don't need to share it yet, it's fine with this. And then hit escape. Go back to Drive, My Drives, and events to announce, and then share the screen now. So I think some of these may have passed, like the June 7th one. But the biggest one I want to announce is the Allerpops event, his launch party. We do ask that you register for this event because it's a catered event, but he would love all of you here to support him. Stuart will be speaking as an investor. Paul will be speaking as a testimonial to using the product. And it's going to be a great party. So I hope you guys will join us. That's on July 12th from 5 to 8 p.m. And please register if you want to come to that. I don't know, Eric, if you have any others, but this is from the Founders Syndicates list. So on June 24th or 21st from 4:30 to 9, Founders to Founders Hike. That sounds like fun. June 27th, dog-friendly Founders Syndicate event. Feel free to join her for that. The continuation of our leadership series with Jason Barnett. That will be on Thursday, June 22nd, right here at Fab Hike. He's going to do that one alone. I won't be here that day, but he's been doing them all year. They're great. He's going to do one in June, take July off, and then we'll pick back up for some more series. And then the Allerpops event. You have any more, Eric?
I have a couple.
Okay.
I can throw a couple things in there. Let's see. So I'm working in Santa Fe these days. So a lot of the information I have is related to Santa Fe, but the couple of things I have to share. Connections. First of all, I just saw that 2 entities from New Mexico just got awarded to move on with the regional engines from NSF. So there's a proposal from University of New Mexico, and there's the spaceport proposal for space-related proposal that's coming out. So that's really good news that NSF is investing in the state. The two things I'm just going to share is, one is that the Center for Responsible Entrepreneurship from UNM Anderson, they're working with us in Santa Fe to launch this center that really focuses on business for good. Yeah, I'll put that up. Thanks. Focus on business for good. How do we make businesses that are doing more than just making profit, that are giving back to the community, to individuals, and maybe helping with the environment as well. They've got a half-day workshop coming up this Saturday in Santa Fe with Ron Demon, who is an author, just one of these consultants who works with a lot of big wigs and making things happen as far as corporate innovation, but he's also a startup advisor. So he's doing that. That's 9 a.m. to I think 1 p.m. in Santa Fe. The other thing that I'll mention, I think there's two events from the New Mexico Angels. If you're part of their list, there's an event, I believe, tonight that you should jump in on right now if you possibly can. The other one is that they've got an event coming up in Santa Fe on the 20th. And I think we're going to have a presence related to, I don't know, I think it's startup weekend. There's going to be a couple things on the list there. I think we're talking about something related to Adventure Pitch, which is not very far down the road. But I just wanted to mention those two. And I don't know, thanks for giving me the floor for a second or two.
Eric, we have this list in Google now. If you want to update that for me weekly, we'll.
I can try and do that. I've got my newsletter meeting later today. So I'm glad to do that. Is that clock wrong?
No, it's right.
Oh, sweet.
We have 2 minutes.
Oh, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, yeah, let's say, take us home. Let me just get a quick show of hands. How many folks in the house are new here today for almost the first time? I think I see a couple faces. How about from the floor, real quick, if you don't mind just sharing your name and what it is you do, like a sentence version of that, and then I'll wrap it up here. You can run up here if you like. You don't have to run, you can probably walk quickly. Cool deal, thank you.
Hi, I'm Isaiah. I'm a software engineer. I work in tech.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jenna. I'm a recent graduate and just moved back to Albuquerque and just looking for opportunities and inspiration.
Awesome. Let's move back. That's good. Boomerang stuff.
Good morning. I'm Sophia Munoz. I'm a transplant from California and I am an insurance broker.
Welcome.
Excellent. Welcome to you all. Thanks very much for coming. Thanks for welcoming me back. And I'm just very thankful to have this venue and this great team, but also the great community here in Albuquerque. If there's something you can do during the course of your day and the course of your week to help lift up the town, the state, and other entrepreneurs, please do that. And we hope that we will see you next week. Is it Equity next week? No. It's DevStar. DevStar's next week. There was a trade-off. It'll be a good international business. And thanks very much. Appreciate it.